Hey there, Red Devil Nation. Thanks for joining us again for another Alumni Spotlight. We have a real treat today. Roe Falcone, class of 1995, the first dual sport athlete we have interviewed in this Alumni Spotlights. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, thank you for having me.
So just off the bat, tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, and your high school experience.
Sure, so I grew up outside of Philadelphia in Delaware County in Ridley. So I graduated from Ridley High School, played volleyball, basketball, and softball there, and then was recruited by kind of a bunch of different schools for both softball and basketball, and then decided on Dickinson where I could get a great education and play both sports.
What attracted you to Dickinson?
Well, the first was really, the coach came to, at the time, Coach Anum came to Ridley and met with me and introduced me to the school. And then when I got on campus, I just fell in love. I think they always say that when you walk on a campus, you kind of know and you have a feeling, and it just felt right. I knew I could get a great education, and athletically, I felt like it gave me the opportunity to be challenged. The team the year before was 1-25. And so I wanted to be a part of a rebuild and part of a change. So I felt like I could have that positive impact on the basketball program and then also play softball.
Two sports back-to-back in back-to-back seasons is hard enough when you're doing it in high school. Now you're doing it in college. How did you manage that, and what mentality did you have to do both of them?
Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. So freshman year, I was really committed to basketball. I decided not to play softball my freshman year and just really focus on the training aspect of basketball, because coming in from high school, I think any college athlete, there's a difference in the training that you do at the high school level to college, the commitment, just the nutrition, the workouts, the lifting. And so I stayed committed to that. And then sophomore year, played both and just absolutely loved it. And sometimes it was a bit crazy because you just went from one sport to another and didn't have the break. And I loved it. So I would never complain about that. And then junior year, I blew my knee out the end of our season for basketball. So I missed softball. And then senior year, I got to play both and had, great experience both. And then I actually stayed an extra year at Dickinson, got my certification to teach. I did graduate in 4 years. My friends like to joke with that. I actually graduated in 4 years, stayed for a 5th year, got my certification to teach, coached basketball, was an assistant, and then had a year of eligibility for softball.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah, so I was able to coach and play my 5th year there.
Now, when you blew out your knee playing basketball, was there ever a thought in your mind that I may never get to play collegiate athletics again? Was there what was the mentality to come back and keep pushing, to keep going?
It was actually my second time. So after sophomore year playing basketball and softball, something was going on with my knee. It kept giving out. And when I went in to have surgery to get it cleaned up, it was also that my ACL was shredded. So they did a kind of interesting reconstructive surgery to get me back sooner, and then to blow out. So I did my left one after sophomore year, and then I blew it out, my right one, the end of junior year, which was just pretty devastating because at the time we were nationally ranked, and we did win the championship that year. And it was hard because I got to watch it from the sidelines. It was more, I really can't believe this is happening again. Mm-hmm. And just what the commitment is to get back. But at no point did I ever think of not playing senior year. There was not even a thought about that. I wanted to get back and compete.
And you mentioned you had to watch the team win the Centennial Championship from the sidelines. Talk about that feeling, the joy of winning, but also the pain of I didn't get to be really part of this because I was sitting the whole time.
It was hard at, just not being able to help my team, and that year, as I mentioned, we were nationally ranked and we're just having a fantastic season. We had a lot of outstanding players. Annie Guzik was an All-American. we had just so much depth in our lineup that I believe we actually had 3 starters that were injured during that year and still won the Centennial League. So it was the first year of the Centennial Conference. So it was, we were kind of learning all the teams and getting familiar with it, and then beat Ursinus in the championship, I think by 1 or 2 points. And Cindy Porta, I remember hitting the game winner, and it was amazing. And I still got to cut the net down, and I still felt like an integral part of our team's success. And we did not get an NCAA bid that year. It was the first year, and they did not give an automatic bid. So we wound up playing in ECACs, which was a little bit of a disappointment because we really wanted the opportunity to play in the NCAAs.
Yeah. What lessons do you think you learned from just that, from that experience just in 1 year of having to watch, but being more of a supportive teammate and maybe coaching players to help them achieve what your team achieved?
I mean, I think for me, it was about being the best teammate that I could be and be positive and be supportive, which I think transfers to anything that you do in life, right? It's not all about you. It's about, other folks and building them up and success and that a team can achieve. Kind of my philosophy with coaching, that everyone contributes in a way, that even if you're the 10th person, there's something that you're bringing. So I had to kind of change my mentality. And then also just the discipline of rehabbing and coming back, I think really is just a transferable skill that, I overcame, a significant injury and had to have the discipline to rehab and be focused to get back on the court. So I think it kind of all transfers into everyday life.
Taking a step off of both the softball field and the basketball court, what else did you do at Dickinson? What did you major in? And you mentioned you got your certification in teaching. How did you find that passion?
So I majored in psychology. I started as a history major and then really wasn't sure. And then I fell in love with psychology, which I use in my line of work today. I decided to get my certification to teach because after I graduated from Dickinson, I did go on to be a graduate assistant at Widener and thought I wanted to teach and coach. And really just learning and understanding about the mind and people is something that still to this day, fascinates me. And I had such a great experience at Dickinson, and a lot of great psychology professors and a lot of great teamwork. I know a lot of our classes were about research and working collaboratively with other individuals. Was there any other clubs or organizations that you got involved in during your time here? Was there anything else that you, outside of playing, of course, the 2 sports and then going, to class, was there anything else that you tried or that you were interested in? Those 2 sports took up the majority of my time, and I was fortunate to find some great friends outside of those 2 sports that I'm still see twice a year. And so, having somewhat of a social life and just being with friends and academically, and then with the 2 sports, it didn't allow for a lot of other things to happen. I remember I did work study and I remember reffing some intramural games and working out with intramurals. You mentioned you had all, great friends from outside of sports. You had your teammates from softball and women's basketball. How do you guys continue those relationships today, and how did you guys cultivate your relationships here? It's interesting because I think with the teams, you're with them all the time. I mean, it's a commitment. I think for those that look at Division III athletics and believe it's, easy. I'm not saying it's necessarily the commitment of a Division I, but we were a nationally ranked program, and it was 3 to 4 hours a day that we were committing between being in the training, watching film, and then practices. And so you're together all the time, and we live together. A couple of us all lived together. So we were always around each other. Yeah, 24/7. Yeah, and that was basketball, but I think that really helped. I think it was an important part of our cohesion, an important part of the chemistry that we developed. And our softball team, my senior year, I was the only senior on the team. We had a great season. There was a lot of great freshmen that came on board, and we just meshed well, had, again, just great relationships, great chemistry. going to meals together, spending time outside of the field or the court are really, I think, critical things to make for good chemistry and good team. And then, with my friends, they were really supportive. They would, come to games and be supportive of me. And then I lived with them a couple years, and just after post-graduation have kept in touch. And we, texting and social media have been great ways to keep the communication going. So recently, the men's and women's team have formed an organization called the Friends of Red Devil Basketball.
Right.
I'm really proud that I'm on that committee, helping to chair their career development, internships, and mentoring part of that. And so that's helped us connect both with fellow teammates as well as the men's team, because during Christmas break, you spend a significant amount of time with the men's team because it's you, the men's team, and swimming on campus.
Yep.
So
there is no one else.
There is no one else. So it's, you form great relationships and friendships with them as well. And so it's been nice to be a part of that and to be connected again with, several, again, teammates as well as some of the guys' team.
You hit on that topic of being part of that Friends of Red Devil Basketball. Why do you think it's important for you guys as alums to give back to this current generation of Dickinson student athletes? And why do you think it's helpful for them to know that you guys support them?
I think it's everything about giving back. I mean, I loved my experience at Dickinson. I think there are a few really critical decisions and choices that I've made. And Dickinson was definitely one of, I would say, the three choices that have helped shape my life. And so I want to give back, and I want people to have just a really positive experience. And I think the alumni connection is critical. I've been fortunate. I've been with my company for 23 years. And for the past 20 years, I come back on campus and recruit. And so I really think I want current students, current players to have opportunities and to understand that the alumni is there to work with them and to be a support system for them. I know as a 21-year-old, I wasn't taking advantage of things that I should have been, like the Career Center, like Alumni. And so from lessons learned and things that, I wish I would have done differently, I think it's geared me to giving back and to help give students a leg up.
Leading me right into my next question, you have been recognized for your work at Dickinson. Talk about receiving the Career Champion of the Year award. What did that mean to you to be recognized for everything that you have done?
It was pretty funny because my friends all kind of laughed that it was a non-athletic award that they were most surprised of that I received. I was really proud and honored to receive the award. And what I hope is that it just, it encourages more people to give back and to be a part of Dickinson. And so for me, again, it's nice to be recognized, and I've done it for 20 years because it's the right thing to do and because I really believe in helping people.
I hinted towards postgraduate. You went to Widener, served as a graduate assistant there. Then now you're 23 years with your current company. Talk about the current company you're with, because 23 years at a place is something you really don't see a lot of anymore. And, people, especially people my age, and I'll take the brunt of that one, is we jump from job to job after a couple of years. Why did you feel so obligated or why did you feel like you wanted to stay for 23 years? And what has kept you going?
After I was at Widener coaching, and I really thought I wanted to coach. And then the realization of coaching at the collegiate level is that you have to be willing to pick up and leave and move everywhere. And my family, I was still extremely close to them. And I had just started a relationship with my wife, who I've also been with for going on 24 years. I better get this one right. And so I realized I didn't want to leave. I wanted to kind of call the Philadelphia area home. And so a friend of mine said that she was starting at a new company called EDSI, and they helped people that were less fortunate find jobs and get back to work and better their lives. And so for the past 23 years, I worked for EDSI, and it's a company that is committed to helping individuals that are underprivileged, underrepresented, less fortunate, at-risk youth, just, find jobs, work on self-empowerment, self-esteem, and really better their lives. And so for me, that was my passion. And it was really about helping people. And I never thought that I could find something that I loved more than basketball and coaching and softball. And really being at EDSI has been a wonderful way for me to help and to learn and grow. And every day I feel like in my role, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm challenging myself. And we have a great culture, which is one thing I would tell anyone looking for employment, is to find a company with a great culture. Our company's leadership team, we actually have 4 Dickinson graduates who are in key leadership teams with our company. Another regional director, Meredith McCarthy, our HR director, who also played basketball at Dickinson, Raina Kimso, and Kim Glenn, who was our director of curriculum, who played softball at Dickinson, are all a part of EDSI. So I'm really proud of that. Our owner says that he should have a statue at Dickinson because we hire so many graduates. And so it's really about the people I get to work with every day, the individuals that I get to help and support, and the ability to go to Dickinson and recruit and know that I'm giving people an opportunity to work for a great company that cares about its people and that cares about doing right by individuals.
You come back and recruit, and you were saying that you get to do so many different things, you get to work with so many different people. How do you think a liberal arts education helped you in your career, and how did it apply to what you do today?
That's a great question. I think for me, I just became more well-rounded. One of the early classes I took was the art of music, and not knowing back then that I'm tone deaf, hence my grade probably reflected that because I couldn't really hear the music. However, it did give me a passion for classical music and a love for music that I probably would not have discovered. And so, now I use that when I'm writing and need to focus. I put on, Vivaldi's Four Seasons and can remember that I learned that at Dickinson. Some of the philosophy classes that I've taken, I've read books on different philosophers that I've learned. And again, I think the liberal arts education is about kind of learning everything and just welcoming knowledge. And so I think throughout my life, I've tried to continue that education and have really grown because of that.
Some of the last few questions I have for you, that you've been recognized for another thing here at Dickinson. You are in the Hall of Fame. Played the 2 sports, you're in the Hall of Fame. Talk about that honor and what it meant to you to be forever basically immortalized here at Dickinson with your picture hanging in that Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the picture's great. I've since learned that you should have 2 eyebrows, so I've grown that way as well. So be a little bit self-deprecating as I look at that picture, and people who visit there send me the picture back. Honestly, it's about great teammates, great coaches, and having the opportunity that I did to play and compete at Dickinson. I was really fortunate to have wonderful teammates that more than anything, we just enjoyed each other and laughed and had fun and knew that it was hard work when we were on the court. I had coaches that challenged me. I went into college not really understanding the difference. One of the things, for basketball was you have to play defense. And, and there has to be a discipline with everything that you do, including training and lifting. And then, with softball, we were really fortunate my senior year to have just an amazing coach who, again, Coach Trapp, who pushed me and challenged me. And so I look back and the Hall of Fame is great. And I'm very proud of that honor. And I'm proud to wear the red and to be, a part of Dickinson. For me, it's about the people that I got to play with. I will forever remember, the games that we won, the close games. And I'll also forever remember the losses. And so ones that still haunt me today. But
There are definitely those out there. I have them as well.
yeah, there's no doubt. I think any athlete does, right? And if you
Yep.
care, and I put everything into playing and very passionate about playing, and losing's tough and you learn from it. But I'm very proud and honored. And, again, it was just an awesome opportunity to play two sports at Dickinson.
Why would you push or encourage this generation of people to look at a school like Dickinson, and why are you proud to be an alum? And as you said, wear the red.
First, I mean, I'm proud to wear the red and to be from Dickinson. I feel like the school continues to just get better, and that seems like a simple term, but it's the easiest way to define a school that is redefining themselves and always looking to improve. The connections that I made through Dickinson, the networking and the people have been remarkable. That's something that, again, the experience from my education, athletics, socially, it just was an awesome fit. And so I would encourage anyone to look at Dickinson. And just, it's a beautiful campus. I mean, it's just has so much character. And even on the rainy days in Carlisle, it's you can find the beauty in the limestones at Dickinson, and the Mermaid and Old West. I love the history. Walking down Old West on graduation day is something I'll never forget. And for me, I encourage, as I mentioned, I coach high school basketball now. Mm-hmm. And I encourage all my kids to, if they have the opportunity to play a sport in college, the lessons that they learn, the friends that they'll get to meet, and the experiences. They have 4 years. So I really encourage them because I think it'll make them better people. And so for some, I'm encouraging to go to, of course, I would love my players to go to Dickinson, have a really great relationship with Coach Hayes and respect the work that she's doing, and appreciate that relationship. But for me, anybody that has the opportunity to go to a school like Dickinson and to get a well-rounded experience is going to make you better when you go out into the real world.
As a Dickinson alum, I could not agree more with that last statement.
Thank you. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that one.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak with us and share your Dickinson experience and your Dickinson story with so many.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to talk to you, and go Red Devils.
Go Red Devils. We look forward to seeing you back on campus when we can finally open up and play basketball again.
I cannot wait. I will be there supporting it.
We look forward to it. Well, we will talk
thank
to
you very
soon,
much.
and have a great day.
You too. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.